We always start with a prayer after Pledge of Allegiance. The prayer today is 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy shaft, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I should dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anyone who wishes to make a comment on an item on the agenda? I guess it's yes. Okay, so Commissioner Dvorak will manage public comment and select those. We have a sign-up sheet, and he has the copies of those in front of him. So over to you, Commissioner.
Today, just to explain the process, we already had a public hearing, and the commissioners are supposed to make our decision in our brains privately after the public hearing. This is a public comment. I have 11 people that signed up, and I'd like to make a motion to hear all 11 people for 3 minutes each because of this important topic.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
If we could, Jim, before we would do that, just so that, statutorily and the way that it's always been done, we have public hearing, and then we have a vote if there is a comment afterwards, because we're basically reopening a public hearing with commentary. I would request to make a motion to support the name change on the road before we start with public comment.
I mean, I think people want to be heard.
And they can be. I'm just saying, I think that it's...
Can I finish my sentence first? I think people want to be heard even if we can't incorporate their thoughts into our decision. I still think they want to be heard, and we should hear them before ruling on this.
I understand what you're saying, but we had a public hearing, and we had it advertised. I would feel more comfortable moving forward, to get the name change approved. We'll vote on that, and I'd like to make a motion to move to do that.
We have a motion on the floor to extend it for 11 people.
Right. So we need to move on that motion before we can entertain another motion.
Well, I think either way is fine.
I just
For
say,
sure, all 11 people will speak. Are you?
after we're
mentally-
completed with the vote, I would move to support the change of the name from Osmond on that section to Levi Lane. But I think that because we have had already our public hearing on this, is that let's get the vote done and get this approved, and then give everybody an opportunity to speak.
Okay, so we need to handle the motion first about the public comment. So Commissioner Dvorak, if you want to withdraw your motion, you could, or we could call that motion to question.
Well, I withdraw the motion because I think it's important that 11 people speak. And so there's a motion to go to item 2 right now instead of public comment first.
Yes.
I'll second the motion. Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Yes.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes. So now we're at item 2.
That was item number 2. So now you're going to go back to item number 1.
Okay. Go back to item number 1, public comment. We have Jeff Beck.
We need a motion to because you withdrew your
Oh, yeah,
motion
we have-
regarding public comment to extend. So we need a new, if you're going to allow all 11 people, we need to redo the action that was withdrawn to, for regarding public comment.
I'll make a motion for all 11 people that signed up for the first public comment just to speak for 3 minutes each, if they want to speak that long. So that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes. Okay. Jeff Beck, first one. You have to put the microphones right 4 inches away. So.
Is that good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to start by thanking the board again for entertaining this and hearing us out. I know there were some issues that were brought up in the hearing, and after having a little bit of time to think about those and talk with some other people that are related to the county, I did have the chance to speak with a 25-year veteran of the public health sector here in Geauga County. And a couple of the points that he brought up were that the RealLink system is handled through the ERIS, I think it is, and the ArcGIS, and that once a request is made to that, it should update, all of the platforms that the county and municipalities use. So that should, there really shouldn't be a whole lot of issues in terms of confusion with that. I have agreed to work with the same gentleman to contact all of the necessary authorities to ensure that they are aware and that their system does show our address accurately. This gentleman also commented from his experience as a paramedic and fireman that he actually prefers when streets that are intersected by another don't have a north and south portion, that they having a separate name for one that is a north, as in ours, north portion of Osmond of Butternut. He thinks that they find that more clear and decisive in terms of getting somewhere instead of not knowing potentially which side of Osmond it might be on. Again, I think whether it's Osmond or Levi Lane, it's if there are future parcels made, that those can get a name, address of whatever the street name is going forward. As I think I alluded to in the hearing, if there are hard costs related to signs, poles, lights, things like that, we're happy to pay for that. I'm also happy to reimburse any municipalities or the county for their soft costs in terms of human capital having to spend time on this. We discussed before how important this is for our family, and it's for pretty meaningful reasons for us that we continue to hear our son's name said and written and spoken as much as possible. This is a phenomenal way for us to be able to do that. And we appreciate your guys' consideration in looking into this for us.
A couple things I wanted to say was Levi wasn't sick. He was perfectly healthy, happy little boy. I rocked him and put him to bed like every other night, and we wake up to find our son gone. No parent should ever have to decide to bury or cremate their child before them. Our children are supposed to be there for all of our lives. We're not supposed to be there for all of their lives. I can no longer have dreams or aspirations of my son growing up, going to school, or getting married. I want Levi Lane so that my son's name can be said long after I'm gone and with him in heaven again. I cannot tell you how much this means to me and our family to honor him. Changing our street name will not help with healing, as you don't heal from the loss of your child. But it will help in keeping his legacy for him, since he can't do that himself. I appreciate your time and consideration more than you'll ever know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Matthew from Russell.
I'm going to withdraw my public comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Justice Bill O'Neill.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to limit my remarks because unless I've misunderstood, you've already voted, and it is now Levi Lane.
Yes.
Thank you ever so much. I'm here in probably 3 different capacities. As you know, I'm retired from the Supreme Court of Ohio, but I'm also a pediatric emergency room nurse, and my career started across the street here at Geauga Regional Hospital. And, you know, having been in government for 30 years and having been a nurse, I'm just so glad to be here today because rarely does government get to do the right thing at no cost. And that's what you've just done. There's no cost to anyone. But, you know, as a nurse, I have to say for the whole room, we've all known a tragedy of death. Everybody's known that. We've had the tragedy of a loved one dying. We as nurses know about the tragedy of a child dying. But when a child dies from an unexplained situation, that name needs to be remembered. It just needs to be remembered forever so that as people drive on Levi Lane, they're able to say, who was Levi? And think about it. And what's the unexplained death? So I think what you've done is good. And here's the thought I want to leave you with. I see your agenda. You've got a lot of things to vote on today. Your jobs are important. When I was at the court, you know, if I finished a case a week, everybody would think I was a superstar. And it looks like you're going to take 10 votes today. I commend you. And as human beings, we all are beckoned to take the easy way. And sometimes the easy way and the right way merge. That's what happened today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Preston Beck?
I yield.
Okay. Scott Beck? Ellen Kunkel?
I yield.
Cecilia from Aurora? Cecilia? And then we have,
Should I come up to there, or are those on?
Wherever you want, wherever you're
Alright.
comfortable.
Good morning, Commissioners and everyone. I prepared some comments. I was not aware of the public hearing, so I guess this was a little bit more public hearing-ish that I prepared, but I will just shorten my comments since you've already taken a vote, but I did want to say something. My name is Cecilia Ale. I was a resident of Newberry Township for 25 years. I currently live in Aurora with my husband and 3 daughters. I fully support the vote that you've taken, and I thank you very much for taking that. It's hard to think of many things that reshape your life, like losing a child. In 2022, I lost our 4th child early in pregnancy, and then 2 days later, tragically, my close friend's 3-month-old son died experiencing SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome. The grief is really deep, and even 4 years on, I sometimes struggle to accept it, and I still feel that pain acutely. When your child dies, you don't only lose them, but you also lose every future version of them, and every future version of yourself, or many future versions of yourself as their parent. Everything's altered permanently, and this is a sorrow that's hard to wrap your head around unless you've lived it. But while their life is over, your love for them and your relationship with them is not, and it becomes dearly important to keep their memory and their name alive, and not just in your heart. They are, after all, a part of your family, and they always will be. And that's why I see so clearly how renaming this small, no-outlet stretch of road would do so much for Levi's family and the community. I've seen it asked, well, what would changing the name of this small road do to benefit our residents of Geauga County? Well, to that I say we're more than individuals who live in the same place. We're networks of families and friends, sharing bonds through our neighborhoods, our workplaces, our schools, our places of worship, and our shared experiences, particularly for parents of loss, and there's many of us among you, more than you might think. When one of us suffers, we all feel that pain, and when one heals, even a little bit, we all do. I don't know the Beck family. But I do know something of them by what I have been through, for I have experienced and been a witness to similar things as they have. And I wish them and all lost parents all the support, all the love, and the healing and community there is to be had. And you've supported that and been part of that today by passing this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Tiber?
Hello, I'm Jonathan Tiber, Clarendon Township trustee, and I'm going to yield a lot of what I had some great points, but thank you for voting the way you did. Every Clarendon trustee was from the beginning in support of this name change, and we thank the Becks for requesting it. It's very worthy, and not only that is I feel like it brings awareness of the sudden child death syndrome. And I feel like although your child went to be in paradise with our King Jesus in a perfect world, it's a tragedy to the survivors, and this name change brings awareness to this kind of death. So I just want to say that. I also want to thank you for the opportunity that you allow everybody to speak before the meeting, at the beginning of the meeting as well as at the end. It speaks to your desire to hear from your constituents, which of course are your fellow county residents. So I want to thank you for that. But all three Clarendon trustees are very pleased and join the Becks in the celebration of this name change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
And next we have Steve from Auburn Township.
That's me, but I yield.
Okay. And the only other one was Michelle Bertman, but she's has something to say about item 13. Which, you're good for now? Okay. Okay. Well, as I said in the last meeting, my wife and I lost a child February 1st of 17. So my phrase is that anybody that loses a loved one or someone too early, we are in a spiritual fraternity, that we are connected somehow with our loss. And before I came up with my answer this weekend, I did a lot of praying, and I come up with this, it has to be absolutely a yes. So thanks everybody for coming in. We'll move right to
Yeah, before we
Go
go
ahead.
about it, I just want to acknowledge the community support we've received for Levi Lane. The commissioners received over 300 emails on this issue, which is certainly a record since I've been in office. I don't think anything has ever come close in that time. And I suspect there have been emails that are sent as we're sitting here right now in this room. Of those that I read every single one of them, and I read only 3 that were against the name change. And one of those people didn't even live in the county, so I think that says a lot about the support. I wrote a Facebook post on this issue. It received, before I came into chambers, it may be higher now, it received 671 shares and 429 reactions. It's my most engaged Facebook post I've ever written. Just to give you a comparison, my second most popular post this year had 50 shares and 135 reactions, and I can tell you they were not all positive reactions. And that reaction was just overwhelmingly positive. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out, for making your voice heard, even the people that disagreed with it, even though you were a small minority. And I wanted to thank you for that.
And all I, would like to say is, our continued prayers for your family and all the families. I see Dan Whiting in the back who lost his daughter. Commissioner Dvorak, and there may be others here that may have lost a child too. I can only imagine what that, what that is to be like. My daughter is everything to me, and I totally understand that. So, my continued condolences, and I'm sorry for the loss, and hopefully this gives you a little bit of relief. And and we're here, to support you. So, thank you, and you got a great group of people here that have come out to support you. And I think that shouldn't be something that should only be for these meetings. because the family needs to continue to live on with the grief and, you know, and that whole lack of understanding of why, right? That's always the question, why. Been a police officer for over 35 years, and I can tell you I've seen a lot of death in my career of responding to scenes, and that was always the big question, is why. And you know, we're going to get the answer one of these days when we meet God, and we'll understand it. But until then, you know, this is the life we live, and we all need to support one another and understand that there's a reason. And I just don't know what the reason is, but you know, I think that this is an incredible voice that that your son has been able to get to build awareness, reach out to people, and just basically get people talking about these type of things. So, you know, thank you for your dedication and commitment, and like I said, our prayers are with you guys. Thank you.
And I know.
And Burton Township wants to send me an invoice for their time. I made that offer last week, and I continue to, I will pay for their time and their materials. I know the Beck family had made that request as well. I've received other emails from, even my girlfriends told me they would pay for the sign. So I think there's plenty of people that were willing to pay for whatever sort of township or county costs come with this sign change.
Well, I know that Levi and my daughter Jamie Marie are together in heaven, so it gives me comfort. So, and thanks for coming in, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And don't feel like you guys have to stay through the whole meeting, just so you know. We appreciate you being here, and you can listen to all the agenda items, but we know you have other things to do as well.
I'm so happy for you.
Hey, Max, you could, if they want to stay and talk, just show them where the cafeteria is at, and they can sit down and relax.
Or into the overflow room too.
Was there overflow?
Yes. Yes, we had overflow set up this morning.
Max, either the cafeteria or the overflow room, conference room. Thank you. Okay. Item number 3.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Item number 3, on June 4th, I amended the motion for the dog warden, which was on May 29th, 2026, to revise the effective date of hire to read, approved hiring Dean Helkowski to the position of Deputy Dog Warden, number 1602, to be effective June 15th, 2026, at the rate of $20.90 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. Also on June 4th, I amended the motion for the dog warden from May 29th, 2026 to revise the effective date of hire to read, approved hiring Michael Heterna to the position of part-time shelter attendant, number 1607-1, to be effective June 4th, 2026, at the rate of $15.89 per hour with a 1-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. Also on June 4th, the Department of Water Resources, I approved the promotion of Clinton Rose to the position of wastewater operator 1, number 2326, at the rate of $27.76 per hour to be effective June 7th, 2026, with a 30-day determination period followed by a 90-day probationary period in accordance with the union contract. On June 8th, 2026, I approved for the Department of Water Resources hiring Leonard Heim to the position of maintenance worker number 2330 at the rate of $23.26 per hour to be effective June 15, 2026, with a one-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon the successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. And that's all for item 3.
Thank you. Good morning, Adrian.
Morning, Commissioners. Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials include a supplemental from the Commissioners in the General Fund for the Safety Center Building Maintenance Account to cover a change order for an HVAC contractor, Air Force One, and in the operating transfers out account to cover additional upcoming transfers. Among the encumbrances is a travel encumbrance from Common Pleas Court to attend the Supreme Court of Ohio Judicial College Civil Procedure by the Numbers course in Columbus, Ohio, and a formal contract purchase order from Water Resources to Grade Line Incorporated for the Merritt Road Sewer Line Extension Project. And among the vouchers is $147,385.14 from the Commissioner's Office to Ohio Paving Construction Company for the remainder of the Strategic Community Investment Grant money that is being used to repave the Safety Center parking lot.
And we have to approve the financials.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey. Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda here is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the request for partial payment number 34 for Infinity Construction Company Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse expansion, GMP Phase 1 and 2, in the amount of $93,625.60. And this has been approved by all the various companies.
Okay, reviewed and approved?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll move to approve item number 5.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
And the next item is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board grant permission to advertise to hold a public hearing to discuss the Geauga County 2027 tax budget to be held on Tuesday, June 30th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Notice of this public hearing will be advertised on June 18th, 2026 and on the county website.
I move to approve.
That's, let me just double check. Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
If I could indulge just on that tax budget subject for a brief moment. I would like to get some guidance as I begin, because I'm going to need to start working through these numbers. So I would like to know your positions on whether or not, because we can, once again, as last year, I do have a sufficient unappropriated balance to not modify any of the budgets. If I want to try and extend the ending balance to be more in line with what we would most likely experience, which I'm not going to be able to come close really no matter what. But if you do want me to make any sort of changes or not change anything and just leave things the way that they are, then I would kind of like to know what your position is on that. Whether I should be looking to eliminate equipment requests or any budget increases that have happened that are outside the norm in order to get past the beginning of the year and then make decisions based on the amount of carryover cash that's available. So I'm looking for input on that.
Yeah, the one thing I think we should not include is the request for additional personnel. There are a few departments that wanted additional employees, and that would be something I think we should axe from the tax budget. And with that, any sort of employee increases that are beyond what has been approved.
So the 3%, is that what you're?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people put in that 3% so that their employees are where they are now, right? But anything beyond that, my suggestion would be to get rid of that as well.
Okay. But I should incorporate as much of the request, except for those items, as have been requested.
Yes.
So, okay.
I'd like to maybe get a chance to just kind of go over with you. I agree with the, maybe the I know that there was just the unknown of the, salary adjustments of where they were. So, in fairness to the directors, they, and other elected officials, they just tried to kind of guesstimate on that, right? But as far as some of the hires, if it's a necessary hire that's really something critical for the department or to have, then I'd like to kind of talk to you. And what I'll try to do is then sit with you maybe next couple days and just kind of go over, because I still have notes in my book too of some of the different things that just kind of I flagged through the budget hearings. So, yep.
Yeah, in the past, we have, kind of the rule of thumb is if you have a vacant position that is listed on your personnel sheet that is not currently being advertised, we would potentially remove that.
Okay.
So,
I think that makes sense.
yeah. And that, at least they provided notice that they need or want this position. It's not currently an obligation that the county has. And if that person does end up getting advertised for and someone gets hired, we could always go back to that request and determine, that we need to provide additional money in order to cover that if we approve the hire, so.
Okay.
And I may make some modifications to the building improvements fund, because they obviously are budgeting on a worst-case scenario as far as projects being able to move through. So I do kind of peel that back just a little bit so that we're more in line with the projects that are, up to bat, essentially, as opposed to going full bore on funding everything and then have half of the stuff not actually happen in the year in which it was budgeted. So I will probably make some modifications there as well.
So let me ask you a question though, getting back to your employee situation. I know we're like perfect examples, building department, that they're looking to bring in another person within the office. How how would that affect what you're talking about?
So if by the tax budget time, I go back and I'm looking at these personnel sheets and I see they have a person that is on their roster in the budget, that position is not being advertised currently, and there's no plans to advertise that position or hire somebody, then typically what I would do is I would pull that
Okay.
out of their salary budgets.
Okay, but if it's active,
Yeah, if it's currently being advertised or there's plans to advertise it, like this year, then
okay, fair
I
enough.
would consider that, yeah. I would leave that in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adrian.
Good morning.
Morning, Debbie.
Debbie Ashburn, with Senior Fiscal Specialist with Commissioner's Office, and I'm representing item 7. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve an increase to the maximum outside legal counsel fee to be charged per case for the prosecution of animal cruelty cases from $500 to $1,500 regarding case number 2025HT00014, and this is the state versus 229 Hamden Street, as allowed pursuant to ORC 2931.18.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, so currently the maximum fee could be charged in any case is $500?
Yes.
That is absurd to me that is
Yes.
that low. I mean, so it looks like that rate was set in 2007.
Correct.
So my question is, should we be making more of a blanket motion going forward so that these caps are higher?
Yes, and I was going to ask that. I kind of prepared a motion, if we could discuss that into the whole fee schedule, because right now they're looking at 2007, we had the maximum in-court hourly rate at $50 an hour, and then outside of court was $40 an hour, and then the maximum fee charged was $500.
Yeah.
So
I
get,
can't believe anyone's working for that.
yeah, and this is Holland and Meriden law firm that represents the Humane Society, And, yeah, I would like to see that. It keeps me out of here on cases once, if I can, I'd like to increase the in-court and the outside court rates to $75 an hour, which is, it's level to the rate that the indigent councils charge. And then I'd like to increase the maximum fee to $1,000 per case, so that, and
Debbie,
they
hold on
don't
one
all
second.
go
So
there.
there's an in-court rate and an out-of-court rate. Are you saying both of those should be 75? Just the hourly rate should be 75?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that makes more
Yeah.
sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, instead of 40 and 50.
Yeah.
And the indigent did the same thing. They want 75 for either.
Yeah, right, just a flat fee, hourly rate.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you wanting that today?
If we can, that way I don't have to come back in for,
Yes, we
Okay.
do, but I think
All
we
right.
need to vote on the first
Yeah,
one
so we
because
need
it's
to
an
call the
individual
question.
case first.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
And then the action would
you want me
be,
to read the motion? Second one? So the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board to authorize payment of fees for the prosecution of animal cruelty cases by outside legal counsel pursuant to ORC 2931.18 and subject to the following fee limits. Maximum in-court hourly rate, $75. Maximum outside of court hourly rate, $75. And the maximum fee to be charged per case, $1,000.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I would plus.
Shane Hajar with the Engineers Office to present items 8, 9, and 10. Item number 8, the County Engineers Office requesting the Board award the bid to Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, Sections D and E in Munson and Newberry Township in the amount of $667,650, as they represented the lowest and best bid, and their bid bond will submitted shall serve as the performance bond.
I move to approve number 8.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 9, Engineers Office is requesting the Board award the bid to Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, Sections F and G in Munson Township and in the city of Chardon in the amount of $719,500, as they represented the lowest and best bid. The bid bond shall serve as a performance bond.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you. And finally, today, the Engineers Office is requesting the Board award the bid to Grade Line Incorporated for the replacement of the Bascom Road Bridge in Hampton Township in the amount of $246,071.70, as they represented the lowest and best bid, and their bid bond shall serve as a performance bond.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you all.
Morning.
Charles Tukach, the Maintenance Department. I have item number 11 on the agenda. It is a change order for the barn roof replacement. It is no additional cost, but an extension of 46 days to the substantial and final completion dates. The reason for the change order is the gravity vents that we just ordered, the new ones, they're 4 to 6 week lead time. So this, the substantial completion date right now is June 15th, and the vents aren't showing up till the 19th. So this is just an extension of 46 days. I do have a photo that was taken yesterday of the roof to show that it is near completion, except for the areas where they have to install the gravity vents. So
Is this the second extension we had on this?
it is. The first one was due to the weather
right.
over the winter. We had to stop construction in December and then restart in the spring. So the motion is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 4, increasing the contract with 5K Commercial Roofing LLC for the Geauga County Maintenance Barn Roof Replacement by extending the date of substantial completion by 46 days through July 31st, 2026.
Second?
Any discussion? I have a question. How many cupolas on the barn roof?
How many what?
Cupolas?
Just one.
Just one? Okay.
Yes.
And that's,
And it is roofed. It's right there. You can see it. It has the roof on it.
was
That
there,
part's done.
Yes.
That's part of the substantial completion.
was there weather damage to the walls coming into the roof, or?
No.
Was it okay?
It was okay, yeah.
Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri? Commissioner Brinkley?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Kathy Miller, Fiscal and Personal Specialist with Water Resources. I'm here today requesting the board approve and authorize Ralph Spitaleri, the authorized representative, to execute request for partial payment 12 for Shook Construction Company for the McFarland Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvements Project in the amount of $1,169,175.75, and the accompanying Ohio Water Development Authority contractor's estimate and fund payment request 12 in the same amount. And this was, the pay app was reviewed and approved by the sanitary engineer for payment.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley? Aye. Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Bertman, President and CEO of Lake Geauga Recovery Centers, filling Melanie Blasco's big shoes, trying to. And this is Carrie Lechner, our COO. We're here to thank you for your support of the jail treatment program and aftercare programming for the last several years. And we wanted to request again in the amount of $46,358. That has been remaining for the last 2 to 3 years, I believe. So I did send via email some of our outcomes, if you'd like to have these, if you don't have them on here.
Yeah.
Did we receive these? I did not.
Okay.
We sent it yesterday.
We didn't get these.
Okay.
That's okay.
There you go. So if you take a look, you can see the blue and the orange are full years. The gray is just a partial year for the third quarter, up to the third quarter. Lake Geauga Recovery Centers overall beats national averages for our outcomes. Usually it's 35 to 40%. We're somewhere in the 60 to 70% range of our success rates. So if you look, you can see that consistently across our systems, and again, above national averages every time you look at it. The one thing that we did notice, we have it's not a bad thing, the census is down for females in jail treatment or in jail, and so that part has gone down in some ways. So, but overall, the program
Repeat the last
continues
thing
to
you
do.
said.
I'm sorry?
Repeat the last thing you said?
I don't know what I just
The-
said.
the-
Just that there's less women in jail.
Okay.
So there's less treatment for women in jail. because
Correct,
There's less women in
correct.
jail, yeah.
But our census for the men continues to stay about steady, and we're looking to be right about the same at the end of this year as well. I'm gonna let Carrie just tell you a little bit about the programming. Being new, I don't want to misspeak.
Thanks, Michelle. So we do provide treatment to inmates within the jail. It's very important because some of them can continue treatment that they already received in the community, but then those who haven't, it kind of gives them a chance to prepare and kind of think about things with a sober mind in terms of then when they get released from jail, they've already got a foundation of recovery and treatment buy-in. And then we also offer within the jail the assessments and group work. And then our counselors and peer supporters also do work on discharge planning so that we can connect the inmates to aftercare options that might be residential or it could be group in the community. Hopefully they come to our agency for both. We have noticed that there's some inmates that obviously are out of county, so we're connecting them with resources in their own counties.
And we were just wanting to request that you continue to support us in this programming, this valuable programming.
Yeah, I mean, I think I am supportive of the program. Generally, it seems like a very successful program, and I think it's needed in the community. My only objections, I guess for comments are more process related. So typically, like any agenda item, we have documentation, we receive it ahead of time, and we know what the ask is going to be going in. Our agenda item just says you're going to provide an update, not that you're going to provide an update and ask for money. So
I can send the email that I sent yesterday morning.
okay, well, I'm just telling you what I got, which is nothing.
Yeah,
which
okay,
is,
yeah,
which is
I
that
apologize.
Item,
Yeah,
which
great.
is that item on the agenda. And then I guess my other question is, we have opioid settlement money, which I would think would be well used for this program. And if that's maybe how we should be doing this instead of, how do we usually pay for this? Through the general fund?
We have, and we've either reimbursed the general fund from the opioid money, or we've paid them, I think last year, whatever the amount was that we provided them was directly out of the opioid fund, so.
Okay. I don't remember approving it that way, but that doesn't mean it wasn't done that way. And if that's the case, then we have a process to go through, right? We have a, an RFP process with proposals, and then we evaluate the proposals. So, I guess that's my objection, is that I'm just told I'm getting an update, and instead I'm getting an update and an ask for money.
Can I just add something, just for clarification? The jail treatment program was actually started when Commissioner Spitaleri came in as a commissioner, and it was started well before the opioid settlement funds were actually coming into place. And so it's shifted recently to utilizing the opioid settlement funds to provide the funding for this project. Initially, and that's why Adrian was talking about, it came through the general fund. But this was part of the big, huge drive to actually work on trying to get the opioid settlement thing, the opioid problem under control. So I think that the reason why this doesn't come through the regular process of now the new RFP is because it's outside of that, and that's probably the difference here on the request.
Yeah, I mean, I get things have changed over time, but I guess I'm wondering if we should pivot and thinking about bringing this through our RFP process for the opioid settlement.
I don't know. I mean, I've been involved in it pretty much from the beginning, and it's just been a really, really great program. I've talked to the sheriff about this so many times, and just the success that's come out of this. And I believe, to be honest with you, I think I keep saying it every year, like, how is it that you guys could do it for $46,000 to be able to manage what you're doing? Because it's a incredible undertaking, and the follow-up is just, second to none, really is. And, I totally support what you guys are doing, and you have made a difference. You talk to a lot of even the deputies that deal with, recurring situations, and they've said you're giving people another option. And I think that, it's important for us to be able to stay on course to continue to do this. And I would make a motion to accept what your request is, and to move forward to moving forward with the funding for the $46,000.
Is that the request, 46,000?
It's 46,358 was.
46,358.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for what you do. I can honestly tell you that a lot of other counties don't have what we're doing, and you could see where the problems don't. There's not a certain conversion, and that's what I really feel strongly about this is you can actually statistically put a mark on the paper of a true conversion, and that's what's always been neat about this.
And that connection.
Yep.
When they're back in the
Yep.
community. Yep.
Yeah.
And how will this be paid if this is approved today?
We could pay it directly out of the opioid fund if that's what we decide to do. There's money available in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't have, just for a little history, 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't have the opioid
Correct.
fund
Yeah,
money.
that's what Chris-
So
Yeah,
now,
it would come out of the general fund
yeah,
back then, before the opioid money.
right. So I'm okay with directly out of the opioid account.
And I think that the motion last year, if I remember right, Adrian, we talked about this the other day when I was trying to figure out how it was being paid, because you had asked me that question, did specifically say that it was paid out of the opioid settlement fund. So that would be probably where this would come from. And I think that the reason why they come in and give you an update every year was, I think that was part of the request when it was set up, was for them to come and provide an update on how the program was working when it was
Yeah.
initially initiated. So,
Yeah, I just wonder if next year, I'm not worried about this year too much, but maybe next year you guys could apply through the mental health program.
Yeah, I'm, with me being new, I
No,
wasn't sure of the
understand.
process,
No,
so I
understand. I mean,
apologize
yeah,
for
and
any
part of it is,
confusion.
yeah, just making sure we communicate so that we know what you're coming for and I can prepare properly for the meeting.
I thought it was coming to do what I'm doing.
No,
so-
I understand. But I think that would be probably the way to go in the future so that if you're not treated differently than any other organization that's using that money.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so there was a motion. I don't know what the motion is. Can we repeat that back?
Commissioner Spudler made a motion to approve the $46,350 for the Lake Geauga Recovery Centers for the jail treatment program, and that would be paid through the opioid settlement fund.
And that was part of the motion that would be paid through the.
We added that in we're adding that in at the end because that was a determination of how it's being paid.
Okay, that's your intention of your
That's-
motion.
yep.
All right, I'll second.
Is that the correct amount? I just wanna make sure.
358, yeah, 46,358.
$46,358.
Yes, okay.
And not to, is that in here? That was not written anywhere in our materials what the amount was?
I sent it via email.
Okay.
I will look and see because I did not see, because I actually checked yesterday when I was sending stuff out to them and I
If
don't know.
it's like
it meant-
sitting there and I didn't send it somehow, then that's.
It could be lost in email space, so. Do we have a second on the
I'll
motion?
second.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner Boyack.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
14, 15, and 16 are all together. This is the Fifth Amendment for the resolution for 2026 for use of county credit cards. This is to add additional users and remove an employee for Job and Family Services and to add the Department on Aging's Right Express WEX fuel cards that you had approved their application for a few weeks back. So this would give them 19 cards to be utilized in each one of their vehicles. So the first one is the resolution to do the revision to the exhibit. Number 15 is to authorize the president of the board to execute the applications for authorization for use for those cards for those employees. And then number 16 is the certification request, the county auditor request the commissioners for the quarterly use of county credit cards for the year 26 for quarters 2, 3, and 4 for the Department on Aging WEX card. And then it's a revision to their Centera fuel quarterly use, which is a decrease in the addition of the WEX cards.
Okay, so can we approve those in a batch, 14 through 16? All right, I'll move to approve 14 through 16.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner Boyack.
Yes.
Okay. So this one and this one are all new, and then this one is just president of the board.
Okay. Item 17, Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the County Administrator, Amy Bevan, to execute the proposal for Upward Solutions Coaching and Consulting to provide 3 months of teamwork training for department directors and office staff in an amount not to exceed $16,500. So as you know, a little backstory on this, we have one of our lines of effort is to prioritize people, which is focusing on enhancing the work environment, which means operations of the organization as well as the organizational culture itself. I looked across the staff, which encompasses 9 BOCC support staff and 8 directors, and I found that there's been no structured staff development of any kind in over 20 years. I do have it set up in 3 phases. The first 2 phases are $6,500 each. The first phase is communication and collaboration. The second phase is productive conflict and accountability. And then the third phase is basically resilience, leadership resilience and adaptability. The way that I have this set up for today is I'd like to just ask the commissioners as a form of checks and balances for your approval on phase 1, which is $6,500. This session will focus on communication and collaboration. I'd like to reassess again after each phase to make sure that, one, it's what we need and it goes well. And then also to, again, just a form of checks and balances. I've also built into the training it for not just 17 people, but 18. That way, one commissioner can feel free to attend one of the sessions so we can continue to focus on like a whole of BOCC team development. So if there's one in particular that you're more interested in, you're welcome to join us. And I think that's all, unless you have any questions.
Yeah, the question I was gonna ask, and you kind of already answered it, was that just I noticed there were different trainings with different prices, and would it make sense to just to commit to one to make sure it's worthwhile before we commit to all of them? But it sounds like you have the same idea in mind of just doing the one first and seeing how it goes.
Yes.
Okay.
She also does have experience across the county, so some of her stats are she's worked with the state auditor at their annual meeting. Again, this is like 11 years ago, but still there's experience there. She's worked extensively with the Geauga County Engineer's Office, Water Resources, GGP, and a host of other businesses throughout the county. I did ask her for, metrics, so I do have those also, which I believe I sent to the board for your review ahead of time, so I wouldn't have to kill you with numbers. But essentially, this is a step in us, moving in on the cultural piece, and I was quite shocked to find that there's been nothing. We've had the one-offs where, this person or that person may go to CCAO, or they may go to, a SEBCO training, like a one-off, maybe something for their specific job, but nothing cohesive as a team that involves all the directors, which there's 8 of them, and then the BOCC staff, which is basically myself, Mark, Christy, and everyone next door that provides some sort of technical expertise, HR, finance, et cetera, benefits. But there's nothing that's brought those 2 groups together, as well as filtered in a commissioner element to it as well. So they're each different. All 3 sessions are different. The first one is establishing, again, just some sort of self-awareness. We understand each other, ourselves and each other better for better operations within the office. The second one, I felt it was necessary to address conflict management, like what is healthy conflict and how can we use that to make better decisions and produce better products. And then really at the end would be just a focus on, resiliency. Like how do we sustain this development that we're entering into as an organization. I also, if we had to send every one of these individuals out to get this training, let's just say it's $3,000. I did some quick math. So if we sent, let's just say, these 18 folks out to get training, which I know there's been a focus on training lately as well, and you average $3,000 per person times 18 people, that's $54,000. So just comparing that, where we bring the trainer to us, vice us sending 18 people out over time to go get training, I felt it was a good deal to bring it in-house.
So you got one of my other questions, Amy. So I said this is a new expense, and talking about the 4 Ps, we're prioritizing people, but can we also protect taxpayers in the same thing? Are there opportunities for saving other places, such as attending out-of-town conferences?
Yes,
So
and that's why I want to checks and balances with the board, so that I have to report back on the success of the training, getting some, whether that's a survey, an internal survey after we're
All right,
done.
that's my third question. Can we require employees to fill out training evaluations at the end so we can evaluate whether this was a worthwhile investment?
Yes, that's already baked in. So again, I really want the checks and balances with the board to keep me honest on this expenditure as we focus on protecting taxpayers across the board. So yes, asking for your approval today. We can certainly amend this motion to just approve phase one. I know it's written because initially this proposal went up to get certified for the full 16.5, and then I changed my mind. And I said, let's break it into options so that we can insert some of those checks and balances. So the board is certainly welcome to approve it up to that threshold with the checks and balances baked in to your motion, or you can just approve phase one, whatever you'd like to do today. I wanted to give you that option.
I'll move to approve item 17 as is.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri? Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 18, board discussion. We'll have Max come up and talk about America's 250 tree.
Now, did you guys get that email, or is it the email from me that I sent to you?
Yes.
Is that how it got to this? Yeah, you got it too?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we probably all did.
Good morning, Commissioners. Max Yost, Commissioner's Office. So the 250 tree is through America 250, and each county gets a free tree, and it's paid for by Ohio Liquor, Lubrizol, and I forget what the other organization is, but I was corresponding with Carmela and Amy Christie. We were all corresponding. So it's a white oak, and Carmela said that she thinks it would be best in in Century Village, the history aspect. So I was looking through the material that America 250 provided. Basically, just like, they gave a mock press release and like planning for an event and stuff like that. I don't know what the scope of that's going to be, if you want to make it a huge, big event for planting this tree, or just, something that we do and attend.
Should we do it? I mean, I assume there's a better time for tree planting than others.
I'm not sure. I need to refresh my memory on what like when the delivery is and the deadlines and everything like that.
I mean, I know there's a lot of events at Century Village, so I wonder if we could tie it in conjunction with, the Apple Butter Festival or something like that, and make it a part of an event that's already happening at Century Village. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that if you check with Century Village, I think there's America 250 picnic on July 18th.
Oh.
But is that the best time to plant a tree?
That could be part of the picnic.
Yeah, right.
An event within the picnic.
But you check with them to make sure that that's the right date for the American 250 picnic.
Okay.
Because we pushed it around, and that's when they wanted it, at that place and all that stuff, so.
Yeah. That's all.
Let us know when the tree gets here.
Thank you.
I would suggest definitely not planning it this month.
Right.
Pick a month with an R.
Right. So, yeah, the maple, or the apple butter.
Apple Butter
time frame.
Festival, maybe better. That's usually sweater weather.
Yes. Okay.
Anything else for board discussion? Okay. Moving on to item 19, public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and township or municipality, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and are kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct. Yes, ma'am.
First, I do commend the commissioners for changing the name. But I do want to note that I was a little confused at the beginning. I really thought that that vote you took was on when you were going to hear the public comment on the name change. But just confirming that vote that you took that passed was, in fact, to change the name.
Yes,
Correct.
You're correct.
Okay.
Commissioner Dvorak actually withdrew his motion regarding the public comment.
Yes.
And then the vote that was taken was to actually declare the road name change from Osmond Road to Levi Lane.
Okay, I had thought originally that that vote was to change when you heard public comment, so.
And then they came back and then they actually took the action then to extend the public comment to allow all 11 to vote following that action. I know, it was very confusing.
We just
I had a
flip-flopped
lot of
item 1 and 2.
confusion.
Anyone else for public comment? Adam, you have anything to report from the Health Board?
Call them out.
What's that?
Just call them out.
Yeah, actually, the one thing I think I mentioned a couple times, is a bit of a hoarding issue in the county. We actually just went out on a fire call. I think I went out last Friday, or maybe it's 2 Fridays ago, but we're finding a lot of 70, 80, 90-year-old-ish. It's not to pick on any one age group, but it seems in that age range. Many times no family in the area, no loved ones. We have one right now where the person will not assist in cleaning up their home, and the attached homes that are next to it now smell like a kitty litter box, for the lack of better words. I mean, it is absolutely horrendous. And we are getting to the point that we are going to have to request the different law enforcement officers to help keep them out of condemned houses, because right now many times they won't leave. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And the one we just went to recently was definitely a danger for the fire guys going in. It's just shocking no one got hurt at that fire, honestly. There was so much inside that house to get around. So we are definitely seeing a lot of it. I would say at this point we're getting probably a call or request once every 2 weeks. And it went from 1 a year to that. So as we move towards that, we may be coming to you all as well for support for that, is in terms of, with law enforcement, with you guys, because it is affecting like those homes at this point, both from animals moving from one home to the other, raccoons, mice, rats, and then on top of that, the most recent one, the smells between the shared walls is actually, it's so bad. I can't imagine they actually live in the house that's attached. It's that bad. And I think most of y'all know the one I went on last year, we didn't know how bad it was inside when we went. And I was so sick, I was out of work for almost 2 weeks and had to go to the hospital to get seen because of what was in the air inside that location when we condemned it. So it's far worse continuously, and we're seeing it on a far higher level. We reached out to Ms. Brakey, since she's the head of the HDAC. I would like to get the HDAC together, the Health Advisory Council, to talk about it and see what they would like to do. But something is going to have to change in how we handle these things. And I don't want to push people out of their houses. That's not the goal. But when it's affecting your neighbors and they're paying their rent or their mortgage or whatever they pay, and they can't live in their own domicile due to smells, that's, there is a line. There has to be a line somewhere.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys an update on that, that's kind of what I was actually dealing with when I came in here, was one that's so bad that the mother's looking to move her kids out because they can't live there due to the smells.
And Adam and I we've spoken about this topic, and I just emailed you back because I was like, hey, I've got a little bit of bandwidth to try to bring together like Department on Aging, JFS, those elements under your hiring authority that have the ability to support the Department of Health in this initiative. So I know at least, I'm cut off. I know at least from my perspective as the administrator, like I'm ready to go with mobilizing those elements under their hiring authority to support you in whatever that looks like. So let me know when you're ready.
Amy's been fantastic help with that. This is not a topic anyone wants to address. We're being the bad guy. You tell someone they can't live where they are, they can't live how they're living, and that's not something easy or that people want to hear. But at the same time, it's what's a danger for law enforcement, for firefighters, everybody else. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, and also because it was Elder Abuse Month, right, as well. So I emailed you because that triggered it after the session to go, hey, let's, how can we start to put these puzzle pieces together to work
one
together?
of those elements of elder abuse, right, was self-neglect, which I thought was very interesting. But I mean, I guess that's part of that self-neglect. And I'm all for property rights and individual freedoms and liberty. But once what you're doing is impacting other people and your neighbors and their property rights, that's when there's an issue.
I think it's a very thin line we're walking. I'm very pro, you have your rights.
Yep.
It's a very fine line to walk. We're trying to make sure that, if I fall off a cliff in district tomorrow, the next person doesn't have too much authority to do too many crazy things. So we're trying to walk that fine line and just try to use the resources we have to handle. But it is, I don't want to say out of hand, but it is taking up a lot of time. I mean, it's a large amount of Mr. Lark and I's time to deal with these on a almost weekly basis at this point. So, and I think when we went on that fire call, that fire team had just responded to one the week before, and they got one while we were at that call. So 3 of them within 2 days. I mean, it's just a lot.
Adam, how many properties do you think there are in the county? If you had to guess where there are some like extreme hoarding issues that are impacting health.
I will say that I know we showed our board kind of what we do as hoarding. I would say probably most of us would say that's so far past hoarding that it's unbelievable. I think with law enforcement, they probably see it and they realize bad is not really bad. But I think we're talking about hundreds of properties. I mean, I don't think we're talking 5 or 10. I think we're talking hundreds. And I do believe it's, from what we're seeing, with some rare exceptions, it's generally 70, 80, 90-year-olds, usually on their own, usually with no assistance. There are some exceptions. And mental health is almost a consistency with these. Is they don't see it. So they don't see stuff piled 4 feet tall. They don't see the roof caving in. They don't see the septic system backing up. They go, oh, it's fine. And we go, well, hey, I can't even get in your house because the door won't open all the way. Yeah, it's all right. It's been that way for 10 years. It's okay. So it's very different. You know, we had one that I went on. They were literally pooping in a bucket in front of each other. Two family members, because they had closed off part of their home that had kind of had some issues, and the bathroom was in that portion. And so they were using a 5-gallon pail. And we don't know where that was going afterwards, I can imagine, but that's the level that we are seeing that, you know, we say that's kind of a cutoff. I'm sure most of the public would say it's way before that, but you do have the right to live, you can live how you want to live to some degree. Yeah. Right. So anyways, we're looking to make that change. I don't want to be crazy with it, but at some level, we're probably behind on how to handle these things, and now it's affecting people and their children, and when it comes to kids, that's a cutoff for me. Like, we're not going to get kids sick or have them, you know, but they can't live in their own house. That's not okay. Yeah. So.
Have you been hearing that this is a growing problem across the state?
I have asked around, and I do believe that we're kind of seeing it's an issue in a lot of areas, especially those that are having populations that are going to be more than 50% over 65 or 70 years old. But it varies area to area, but it's definitely something we're seeing more and more common as people are not having their kids with them anymore, or a family support system, they put it that way, because it's not always kids. But I think we're seeing it from that aspect. And you know, as we lose members of our family who maybe helped us stay consistent, or maybe that loss triggered something. I think that's what we're seeing a lot of is that. So, yeah, it's across the board though. I do believe that.
Thank you. Okay. Well,
I have nothing further.
completes our meeting. I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?